Hi everyone, how are you doing? This is Amanda. A very warm welcome to my channel, whether you are a returning subscriber or you are completely new to my channel. So what we're going to be doing in this video today is having a look at the energies that are around us at this time, particularly focused on the solstice. And I will be covering both the winter solstice and the summer solstice. So wherever you are in the world, there will be some messages for you in this video. Having said that, I do believe that there is a convergence of similar messages that want to come out around now, wherever you are in the world. And we're going to start with the big one. And I don't want people to be running for the hills or freaking out as soon as I show these two cards to you, because actually I feel as though we're being asked to look at them in a different way. So, earlier this week, I was getting ready for this video, or just thinking that I needed to do it. I was shuffling a deck of cards that one of you sent me called the Gentle Tarot. And two cards just literally flew out of the deck. They were Death and the Fool. I'll show you the cards in a moment, but I've just sat down, I've split the deck, I've said to Archangel Metatron, okay, where shall we start then? And I split the deck on the Death card. And then on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Fool card. So this is what we're starting with, and it's also very appropriate for solstice. Nature knows that the wheel is turning, that nothing stays the same forever. Nature is a master teacher in terms of how to do change. And indeed, I'm going to be talking about the concept of change in this video. And one particular word that I heard 3 times a couple of days ago, and the word is pivot. And it was one of those lightning bolt moments where I thought, wow, absolutely, we are in pivotal times, but in terms of your life, in terms of my life, I feel as though we are being asked to pivot, which means giving ourselves permission to change, giving ourselves permission to go in a different direction, to show a different side of ourselves, to explore something new in 2024. And if we are going to do that, and I'll talk more about the nature of pivot, then it makes sense that we have to let something go. But it feels as though we are letting something go which is permanent. More than anything, this is energy, although it can also be a physical death that is occurring, that is happening around us. And indeed, of course, that is the nature of life. It is the cycle of life that deaths occur. My husband today has just gone off to a funeral for somebody. So it's both physical, it's energetic, and it's symbolic. But let's just explore then, before we go any further, the nature of these two cards, Death and the Fool. Because if you're like me and you have a number of decks in your home, you will know that Spirit calls you to a particular oracle deck or tarot deck before you do a reading. And the Gentle Tarot was calling me. And when I saw these repeating cards again, I thought, well, okay, we know what Death and the Fool means, because the Fool is the beginning of a complete new cycle, And I rather like the fact in this card, I don't think it's supposed to be a goldfish, but it reminds me of goldfish, which basically go round and round in the bowl for maybe their whole life. And it looks pretty repetitive. Hopefully it's a little bit more interesting than it appears to be. But we're being asked to not be the goldfish, to actually start something completely new next year. So we know these are the traditional meanings, but what does the death card mean in this particular deck? So I'm going to read you. It's only a very short little passage, and it fits very nicely with the fact that I also wanted to weave in some ancestral work to this video, and more. So it says, these are the words: death. This is a card. Let me put it up so you can see it. This is a card of freedom more than anything. Think about that. Think about death in terms of freedom. And this is a metaphysical death. It's a dark night of the soul that many of us have been going through. 2023 has been challenging. But anyway, so seeing death, seeing this card as freedom, this is the end of a cycle, the shedding and a necessary letting go. It may be the closing of a chapter in our lives or a part of us that needs to be freed. Think about that, a part of yourself that needs to be freed. For me, it's absolutely allowing myself and giving myself permission to become the writer that I know I am destined to be, that I'm meant to be writing books, that I will still be here, don't worry, but I'm going to be letting other things go. And I might come to that in this video, I might not. I want to just stay focused on you. I'm just giving that as an example. I have to let something go to give myself the time I need to sit down and write. So what is it? What is within you that wishes to be unleashed, to be freed? And it says here that if you are resisting change, support yourself and give yourself space to transform. Now, this next bit I think is really appropriate in terms of the ancestral energy that I'm connecting into for equinox. Sorry, not equinox, solstice. Okay, it says, collecting responses from the time that we are in the womb, the body remembers. This is a part of life. It is true for all of us. We become conditioned to act in a certain way, to speak a certain way, and often to hurt ourselves and stifle our own growth. It can take us years, decades to see clearly. And even then, it can be extremely difficult to let go of these habits and conditioned responses. Like the Wheel of Fortune, death reminds us that existence is cyclical. Rise up to discover that death is not a permanent state. It is simply a transition to a new, more fulfilling way of life. I love that. I love the fact that it takes us back into the womb to release the programs that we maybe came in with, to release the programs that maybe our mother had when we were in the womb, the thoughts, the feelings that we have always felt are ours, but actually are they? Or are they an aspect of what we became as we floated in the waters of the womb? The other thing that just feels as though nature is showing us this right now is that it was reported in the news yesterday, I think it was, or maybe 2 days ago, that the James Webb Telescope has just discovered the oldest black hole that they believe is in existence. Well, as far as they know so far, of course. This black hole that they've discovered is a mass of 1.6 million suns and has, what does that say? It's been lurking for 13 billion years in the universe's past. I mean, those are figures that it's hard to even get your head around. 1.6 million suns, what does that mean? 13 billion years. The photographs of it, which you can see online, of this black hole that they have found, just again takes me back into the energy of the womb. So let's just find I haven't got the actual picture here to show you, but we all know what a black hole looks like, basically. So it's just going into the void. It's going into the void. But again, interesting, I show you this one with all the fire around it as well, because overnight the volcano has eventually erupted in Norway. It's all flaring and going off there, so sending support and strength to anybody affected by that. But again, just feels very symbolic, the transmutive energy of fire. Funnily enough, actually, last night I was watching Terminator 2 again. And it's one funny film because, I mean, it's my husband's favourite film, which is why it was on, and he wasn't feeling very well. So he sat down to watch a bit of Arnie to make himself feel better. And it's one of those films I think I've only ever watched maybe a third of the way through. And then I realised I hadn't actually watched it the whole way through to the bitter end. So spoiler alert if you've never watched Terminator 2. But of course, right at the end, the bad, whatever he is, robot. He falls into the molten, metally liquid, and that's it. Sort of game over. He's done. Why am I bringing that in? It's just this thing about molten liquid. It's the lava. It's the volcano. It's rising. It's flowing. It's going to be forming new landmass, not just in obviously Norway, but in other places where volcanoes are erupting or will be over the next, I wanted to say holiday period. But more than anything, it just links to the energy of the void, the creation point. What is your creation point? Your creation point was when you were in the womb. What was going on when you were in the womb? What did you hear? What did you sense? What was going on in the collective that you don't even have any memory of? It's funny, actually. I think we just forget the heritage and the culture and the times in which we were birthed, and that our parents lived through as well. And all of that rich history that is both personal and cultural and social that runs through our veins, it runs through our bones. And then sometimes it just gets stuck. And it feels as though this solstice is a beautiful moment to release what it is that you are ready to release. So I'm going to pull another card now to go with the Death card and the Fool. And let's see what we get. Interesting. I was only playing with half the deck. That feels symbolic as well. It's as though we've all only been playing with half the deck. 2024, and it is triggered. The energy starts to be triggered. We're in the corridor now before we get into 2024 with solstice, is asking us to play with the whole deck. What does that mean? It means all of your talents, all of your gifts, what you came here to be. And usually that makes people run for the hills, including myself. We show up to the degree that we're able to with regards to the extent that we've healed our wounding. Do I feel safe enough? Do I feel confident enough? Am I enough, basically, are the questions that most people ask themselves. And it feels as though we are being graced this solstice with, yes, release, whatever needs to be released. And you need to consciously be tuning into what that is with you. What are your blocks? What are the things that you stumble over? What are the patterns that are holding you back? But then absolutely, as I've said in my previous video, the springboard to the new. So I just want to pull, though, a third card to go with these two cards. So I'm just going to say solstice energies generally. What goes with the Death card and the Fool? It's just exactly what I have just been saying, and it's making me shudder as I even look at it. It's the Devil card. This is our addictions. what is holding us back? What's keeping us small? It's the monkey on your shoulder that says you can't. You're never going to be able to do that. You're not good enough. People are going to laugh. People are going to judge. Well, get this. People may very well laugh. They may very well judge, but do it anyway, okay? It's your life, and you're meant to bring to this table and to this time what it is that you signed up for. But the devil tries to keep us in chains and says, no, stay with the old version of yourself. Stay with the old version of yourself. If you just think about that for a moment and imagine that you're dragging into 2024 the weakest part of yourself, okay? The part of yourself that just gives up, rolls over, doesn't want to do it, can't be bothered, whatever it is that is a pattern that you have within you. Imagine that you're wanting to willingly drag that into 2024. Nobody would. What you're being asked to do is cut the devil's chain and to instead take the best part of who you are, but with love and compassion for that shadow side of yourself that for whatever reason is feeling hurt, abandoned, sore, wounded. And we can track it back. It may very well be an ancestral pattern. It may very well be something that you ingested in the womb, emotionally, energetically. It might be something that you've picked up along the way. But whatever it is, there is in all of us, every single person watching this video now, there is something that you are being asked to let go of and literally drop at the door of 2023 so that we don't take that into 2024. It's interesting that the addiction card came up because to me, the devil card is so linked into addictions. Now, not many people watched my last video, the second Advent video, which is a little bit sad because it was a message of love and peace and joy. But anyway, I know time is short and all the rest of it. But if you did watch it, you will know that right at the end of it, I was talking about somebody in my life who has just conquered a big addiction. And I didn't tell you who it was, but I will tell you now because the more I've thought about it, I think it's very important to let go of shame. And actually, it's nothing shameful to become addicted to anything because in many ways we are all addicts. It's just that some people's addictions are more dangerous. People are addicted to gossip. They're addicted to drama. They're addicted to, I don't know, playing small. But the big addictions, such as alcohol, drugs, are the ones that are sort of like the elephants in the room that often people don't want to own up to, they don't want to look at, they don't want to be seen in a bad light. And the person in my life was my father. So he's battled alcohol addiction for a long time, many decades. And this year is the year he's turned it around. And it is so beautiful to witness. And I know it's permanent because I know my dad. He was able to give up smoking, 40 Rothmans a day, just like that after about 30 years, 40 years or so, and he never looked back from that. That's not to say it was easy, because often you have to reach absolute rock bottom. That's where the devil will take you until you get to a moment where you just think, I'm not taking that into next year. So 12 months clean he is, and I'm so very proud of him. And to anybody out there that has conquered addictions, well done. I know the strength it takes. I also know what it takes to support somebody through that whole process. But also, if you right now watching me know that there is some sort of addiction in your family or yourself, know that it can be conquered. And one of the things I would like to look at, I'm not going to look at in this video, but I am going to look at Matthew Perry. I'm not going to channel Matthew Perry because I believe it's far too soon. I've said all that many times with regards to channeling celebrities as soon as they pass over. They need time to transition. But what's being said about Matthew, because I didn't know much about him, I never ever watched Friends. I'm the only person probably who's never watched an episode of Friends. But the point is, I know as much more than about Friends. And what's come out is obviously he was on record as saying he had conquered his demons, and now it's coming out that no, he hadn't, and was he just lying to everybody? Or is that sort of like the deep state trying to smear him because there could be another alternative explanation? I have a very open mind to that. But I would like to use, it sounds horrible to say, let me rephrase that. I don't want to use Matthew. I would like to ask Matthew, with his permission, whether we could, I don't know what other words to use other than use his example as something where we can talk about addiction. But I'm definitely going to pull some cards in terms of whether he was still addicted when he died. Shall I just pull one card for him now? I don't want this whole video to become about him. So let's just get another deck. And then we'll get back to what I was talking about, which was the devil and addictions. But because you see, what I feel, my gut feel about it is, I've just told you the story of my father and him conquering his addiction. And it's taken a long time. It's been a very difficult battle for him. And he's now like the star of his AA group, and people are looking up to him because he's 82, and he's very articulate and he looks the part, he's impressive. He's an impressive man. So he's got all these youngsters like hanging on to his word in terms of, have you done it? I'm so impressed with him. But anyway, the point is, that is an inspirational story, is it not? But then you've got like Matthew's story, which is like putting right in your face. And I would imagine if you're an addict and you see something like that, which is like, no, this guy never actually was clean and he never conquered it, and you're never going to either. That's the underlying energy that I'm picking up, which is why that story is so in your face. But let's see. I'm going to pull, well, I'll see what cards want to come out for him. What is it that we are able to know at this time with regards to his death? Was it linked into addiction? We have the Knight of Pentacles. Matthew Perry. The Four of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Wands. We haven't got the Devil card coming up. We have got the Two of Wands. We've got the Death card, which is what it was. We haven't got any cards implying addiction here to me. If anything, I would actually say all these money cards with him, Queen of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, what it's saying to me is he was trying to hold on to his sanity, because pentacles are the material body as well, trying to holding on to his sanity. Does feel like it was a fated death. Why? Oh, we got all these pentacles. So I don't want the whole reading to become about this, but as I've started, let me just see. Why have we got the three pentacle cards, please? The Three of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Hermit, the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, I'm just seeing somebody who was working very hard on recovery, trying to hold it all together. Hermit going within, reflection, Eight of Pentacles, a lot of hard work had been put into his recovery. But yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go any more into that. I'm going to stick with what I feel, which is that I feel as though powers that were are using his death to try to undermine addict's recovery, which is like, well, if he can't do it, nobody can. Look at him. He went on all the lectures and he did this and he did that. But, he ultimately failed, and you're going to fail too. Well, I'm going to counter that with the story that I've just given you of my dad. Okay, you can. And it's just about letting go of the grip that the devil energy has on you. Okay, right. Let's move on now. Let's see what else I want to bring through in this video. I wanted to talk to you about the word pivot. So I heard this word on Diary of a CEO, which is one of the best things on YouTube at the moment in my book, with Stephen Bartlett, I think he's called. He's a really good interviewer. He listens, he's articulate, he's interested, he's passionate about every single person he sits with. If he doesn't like some people, I'm not saying he doesn't not like them, but he's always always polite is what I'm trying to say. He's professional. He never lets his personal feelings come into it too much. I think he's great. Diary of a CEO. Anyway, I'm sure many of you will have watched the Mel, what's she called? I don't know what she's called. Hold on, what is she called? Diary of a CEO. Mel Robbins. Okay, I've never heard of Mel Robbins, but anyway, the point is, she was talking about the word pivot. So I heard it there, and then I heard it somewhere else. And then I can't remember whether I heard it 3 times and I thought, So pivot. I mean, a good example is the new tripod I've just bought, which I'm very pleased with. And it's got this great rolling like ball mechanism in it. You can pivot it, you can move it, you can go up, you can go down, you can go to the side. We're all a bit like that. Imagine you're standing on this big ball bearing, basically, and you're able to shift and change position. I think it's so important that we do that. Sorry, I've just had a reminder there that I've got to do something in an hour. Keep your focus, Amanda. So pivot, right. What else do I want to say about the word, about pivot? I'm going to go to a spray at this point. I am going to go to one of the silver sprays. I want to bring in the Silver Ray. Okay. Right, before I've even sprayed it, this is the Silver Crown Chakra Spray. What I'm being shown is a hall of mirrors, like in the old-fashioned fairgrounds, because silver as a ray, to me, is a mirror. So what I'm seeing is that we are being given an opportunity here to stand in front of a hall of mirrors. And this hall of mirrors has a multitude of different reflections of yourself. And some of them you're going forward, some of them you're to the side, etc. Which version of yourself are you going to study and look at and move with and become this week, this month, next year? Think about your life. Think about how we often will show a particular side of ourselves and not another. You're being asked to pivot and show something different. I don't know how else to say it. Okay, let's pull a couple of cards now. I'm going to pull a card for people who are experiencing winter solstice. In fact, I've already got the cards out, really. I pulled these on Instagram weeks ago and I said I was going to do a video linked into it. So let me show you again. So we have the card for winter solstice, which is about reflection. It came with the card of love, wind, activation, and childhood innocence. Okay? So solstice, reflection, compassion, activation, and innocence. Looking back to our past, looking back to our childhood. Or if not looking back, just reflecting on the inner child as he or she is now. And then we have wind activation. Now, in healing, those of you that are healers know that when we use our breath and we blow, we can clear out stuck chakra energy. Now, what I'm being shown here in my mind's eye is I'm wanting you to imagine that you're standing in a clear space, and in front of you is the wounded self. So it's as though there are two yous in the room. The you that is standing central is healed, whole, ready to go into 2024. The other you that you're now facing is, well, it could be a multitude of things, but I'm being shown it's the you that is ignored, the you that is shunned, the you that you might be ashamed of, the you that is hurt, the you that is broken, the you that is addicted. And the first figure now, which is more sovereign and whole, and as I say, healed, is your higher self. It's your higher self. So it's your higher self looking on with compassion to this other you. It's like a hologram, but it's real. It contains all of the pain, the wounding, the ancestral patterns maybe that are being repeated. But higher self you is just looking with eyes of love at this wounded self. And you're able to clearly see where in the body or around the body, but I feel it's particularly in the body, so one of the chakra points, the energy is particularly sluggish, stuck. You might also see it as an inflamed centre, whether it's the throat, the stomach, could be shown to you in a number of different ways. But then with love and compassion, you beam that energy from your eyes to that wounded centre. But you also use your breath, and this is the higher self breath. It's connected to the breath of God. It's the breath of the universe. And you gently blow in the direction of the wounded part of you. You following me? So I'm now seeing some of you, and I can clearly see there's a woundedness around the throat. And this is very common in light workers who have been told to shut up, what you have to say isn't valid, don't say that, it's not true. This can go right back to childhood. Oh, mummy, I've seen her, whatever. No, you haven't. Don't be silly, all that type of thing. Or it can go back into past lives, times where we've been persecuted, times when we've been maybe put to death for trying to speak our truth. So this centre feels inflamed and angry. And the higher self you just gently blows 3 times in your own way, in your own method, blows the breath of God, divine healing energy, high frequency to that wounded part of yourself. And then I'm also seeing 3 kisses. This comes from you. It's your higher self, a gentle onto the wounded part of yourself that needs it. And this also feels as though it's linked into an ancient wound that many of us are carrying, because I'm seeing the kiss that betrayed Jesus. I think Judas kissed him on his cheek. And this kiss that you give to yourself seems to be linked to the times where you betrayed yourself. You didn't allow yourself to grow, say what you needed to say, do what you really wanted to do but didn't think you could or didn't have permission to do. So these 3 breaths, these 3 kisses, bring the energy of love to the wounded part of yourself. And then see that hologram that you're looking at, your higher self is looking at, and then see it starting to relax, unfurl in terms of tension, breathe a sigh of relief that something is being let go of, because with the breath, you are clearing, and then with the kiss, you are sealing, okay? So that self now feels better. It feels as though there's a bit more room for it to move. It's not so rigid, it's not so stiff, it's not so stuck. It's more flexible, it's more free. And then feel as it steps into you, because it's an aspect of you. Welcome it home. And then feel your higher self, your earthly self, your ego, your heart, all parts of you, just settling into your body. Settling into your body, making a commitment to each other that through the weeks ahead and this moment, you're going to try, you're going to move, you're going to flow into new energy, into new territory, into what it is that you really want to do. And you're able to pivot your life, pivot yourself, pivot your mind, pivot your consciousness to a new way. And you don't even need to know what that new way is or what that means. You're just signing up for better, for healthier, for happier, for more peace. And we put our hands up to that and say thank you. Okay. Okay, everyone back. Take a nice deep breath. I'm going to have some water and I'm going to pull some cards for the people going through summer solstice. But remember, these messages are all valid, really, wherever you are in the world. And then we'll come back, summer and winter, and we'll pull some combined cards again. So let's just pull 2 cards I'm hearing from. Oh, no, before I do that, sorry. I wanted to pull an animal totem for both different places on Earth. So for those going through summer solstice, we're going to pull a card from the Druid Animal Oracle deck. Let's see which animal is wanting to be with us. I'm sort of wanting to put it back in the deck and I don't know why. Fire dragon, yeah, because it's like it's too hot to handle. It's too hot to handle. It's like, do I really want the asset of this with me? Because if I have the fire dragon with me, oh my goodness, we can move mountains, can we not? We can move mountains. Be careful what you wish for with the fire dragon with you, because thoughts manifest outward and become reality. The fire dragon, absolutely burning away everything we said at the beginning, transmuting everything, getting you ready, protecting you. Powerful, powerful card, that, the fire dragon. Let's see if there's anything in particular that wants to come out with regards to this animal. What does it say in the book? The fire dragon is about, hold on. Decks that don't have numbers. Right, here we go. It brings vitality, enthusiasm, courage, and an increased ability to overcome obstacles and to find the energy to cope with life's problems. Leadership, mastery. With care, he will fuel your inner fire, which can be directed and channeled with laser-like precision to help you accomplish tasks and achieve objectives. So it's mastery. We are entering a dragon year next year, 2024. It's not the fire dragon. I think it's the wood dragon, but we'll look at that in another video. So you've got the fire dragon, okay? Right, let's start then with an animal for, we're now going to summer solstice, people. I do think it's important just to cover both parts of the world. We are into unity consciousness on this channel after all. So let's have a look at which animal totem we have. Well, actually, I've got a Dreamtime cards here, so it might not be an animal. Let's see what we get anyway. I'm pulling a card from this deck, the Dreamtime reading cards by Laura Bowen. for summer solstice people. We have versatility and the freshwater turtle. Nice. I like that. I love the yin yang of that. Look at those colours. The passionate red and oranges of the fire dragon. And then for summer solstice, we've got the beautiful water turtle and all of the lovely blues and greens and aquas. Oh, and it's about versatility. Well, versatility, pivot, absolutely, flexibility, 4 different paths that you can go down. But let's see what the actual meaning of this card is. Let me grab the book. Card number 15. Versatility. Okay. The freshwater turtle survives in 2 very different elements. It needs water to live in and air to breathe. There are many different species of freshwater turtles, ranging from very small species that are only a few centimetres long, to turtles larger than dinner plates. The turtle is a very practical reptile. I like that. It carries its home around on its back and can retreat inside any time it needs to. I like that, being a Cancerian. It is because of this practicality and its versatility that the turtle's message is one of being adaptable. No one will ever feel comfortable in every environment. Everyone has an environment that he or she is best suited to. But the turtle encourages you to find what you need to be able to thrive in, whatever environment you find yourself in. Yeah, I mean, that's a powerful message for all of us with changing conditions in our world. You know, going back to the volcano at the moment in Norway, you know, people having to... Sorry, it's not Norway. Why am I saying Norway? It's Iceland, isn't it? Isn't it? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let me just double check. I've been saying Norway all the way through it. Well, I'm sure you've all corrected me by now, but... why am I tuning into Norway then? It's Iceland where the volcano's going off. What's going on in Norway? Can I just Google Norway? Because there's something going on in Norway, or there's something about to happen in Norway. Or maybe Norway's space is going to be affected by the volcano. Could that be it? I don't know, guys. Maybe this is it. I mean, this is from earlier on in the year, May, but it is this year. Norway discovers a new volcano in Arctic waters. An active mud volcano has been discovered 400 metres below sea level. It's not every day a new volcano gets discovered in Arctic Norway, especially one that's active. But that's exactly what happened just a few days ago. Okay. It's been named the Borelius Mud Volcano. It releases mud, liquids and gas from deep within our planet with emissions that are rich in methane. Unlike a igneous volcano that most people will be more familiar with, mud volcanoes do not produce lava. Okay, so I've got volcanoes erupting mud now. Oh, well, I don't know. But anyway, I'm, for some reason, Norway, high Norway. Anyhow, why am I saying that? It's because, you know, let's put the book down. Wherever we live in the world right now, we are having to adapt to new conditions in terms of our climate. Whatever you think is causing that is the truth. You know, even here in good old Blighty, you know, I remember when I was a girl, I remember it being freezing cold in December. Thick coats, hats, gloves, mittens, all of it. You know, I haven't worn a thick coat yet this year. It's very mild. I think it was 13 degrees in London last weekend. Unheard of. Well, is that good? Not really. I mean, we have to adapt to it. Nature has to adapt to it. You know, the flowers that spring in spring, they're going to start to get confused. What's the turtle is telling us that we just have to be versatile at this time in our world. And obviously, the turtles come through particularly for peeps in summer solstice territory. So I don't know what's going on with the weather in New Zealand and Australia. Do let me know. What's your summer been like? You see on the bottom of the deck we've got the sun card, fertility. Is it very hot? Are you having a record-breaking temperatures over there, or have you had a bad summer? Let me just check. Australia summer. I'm going to Google. Okay. Australia swelters through heat wave as firefighters battle bushfires. Record December heat in Sydney as temperature hits 43.5 degrees. Whew. That is hot, guys. Okay, so you've also got thunderstorms and all sorts going on. Okay, makes sense. I'm also just feeling now just the sun, the power of the sun. I mean, even here, we're winter solstice, dark days, short days. But when the sun comes out, oh my God, it is so powerful. And again, I think that's symbolic here. It's like however dark it gets on our planet, energetically, physically, symbolically, when the sun comes through, it is powerful. Anyway, the message is to adapt, and we have to be versatile. I'm also picking up big solar flares going on right now as well, or about to happen as well. So, okay, I did also want to, in this video, say something about the ancestors. I said I was going to do that because you may or may not remember that I ordered a new crystal, which I've shown you already, which is the Green Ridge crystal, the Green Ridge quartz, and it's iron coated as well, which is why it sort of looks like this. Okay. Oh, one of you said that if I put that in front of that word, it might focus better. I think you're right. Thank you very much for that tip. So, beautiful crystal, isn't it? What I'm going to do over the next few days is I will make a grid with this in it. I will post up the image of it so you can see it. But let's just tune into what this crystal wants to say to us. And, even as I just put my hands around it, I mean, yes, it's iron coated, so the iron comes off. It's, I wanted to say it's a grubby little crystal, but actually one of you told me that this is actually one of Judy Hall's crystals that I purchased after she died. And apparently Judy was on record as saying sometimes the ugliest, grubbiest, dirtiest looking crystals are the most powerful. So grubby is a compliment in many ways. Our grubbiness, what is your grubbiness? What is it that's grubby about you? What is it that you wouldn't want other people to know that has gone on in your family? I mean, the story, I shared with my dad, there was a part of me last video, I didn't want to share it because it wasn't just because he's not on social media and he hasn't, it was more, I suppose it's shame. There's a degree of shame. I mean, I hate to admit that, but alcoholism is not pretty, and behaviour associated with that is not pretty. But so I own that there's been a bit of that with me, but love got us through because love always wins, and I never stopped believing in him. And he never stopped believing in himself. And I'm so damn proud of him. So bring up those grubby thoughts, whatever they are, that I'm jealous, that I'm ashamed, that I'm, judgmental, that I'm, I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know. What is your grubbiness? You can tell us if you want to. You don't have to, though. Write it down, journal it, in all seriousness, get it out. Those things that you do not want to admit, you don't want to look at it, but it's there. When it's looked at, you can release it. So, okay, so what else is this crystal just bringing up? Let me just tune into it. So, Green Ridge quartz. Green Ridge quartz. Settle into the grubbiness. What I'm being shown is, it doesn't mean stay in it. It just means you have to really feel into what's arising. So let's shame is the one thing I brought up as an example. That will be a universal thing that many people feel from time to time, and it could be linked into so many different things. There's a relationship in your life that there's a degree of shame to. You don't want people to know that happens, or that you put up with that. Or you've got children, it's like, I don't want people to know that. I just want to show the happy bits on Facebook, all of that. What is the bit? You don't have to say out loud, but I want you to tune into it, shame. And then what this crystal means by just settle into it is just feel it. Feel it. We don't ever want to feel it. We just want to push it away. I don't want to admit that. I don't want to feel that. Feel it to heal it. Yeah? And then you ask, what has it taught me? What has it taught me? Where did it lead me? What did it show me? What can I learn from it? What can I learn from that response? What would have been a higher response? What can I strive to try to emulate and be next time, faced with a similar situation? What can I learn from it? And then thank the lesson. Thank the grubby little secret or the grubby little aspect of you for showing you where it is that you could improve on a path of ever-flowing mastery. And then bringing the ancestors in. All those stories in the ancestors, sometimes which get buried. No, we don't talk about that. We won't mention that. We'll never mention that again. We don't talk about Great Uncle Fred or whatever it is. Whoever he was. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that side of the family. Let's not rock the boat. It's all that type of energy. No, let's bring it up to heal it. Ask the questions in your family line. And sometimes you might be surprised as well that it's not as bad as you think it is. I had a similar revelation. I was talking to my dad, actually, the weekend, and I always had in my head that my grandfather gambled away a house because he had a few issues with that. And my dad said, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't do that. He was like, he did have a few issues, but he didn't do that. So where had I conjured that up from? What part of my mind had created that? I'd maybe heard a bit of the story, and then I had assumed something on top of it. I don't know. Because this is the thing. Sometimes what we think is the truth isn't the truth. So if you've still got elderly people that are alive in your family, ask them about your heritage, because then you can learn from it. The worst thing is when we're walking around and we have an issue, whatever it is, or a trigger or a pattern, and you have got great Auntie Meg's, whatever it is that she had, the way she used to think. It's her wound. It's been passed down the family line until we clear it. But you have to look at it. And the first step is learning about what it is, discussing it. So you can ask Metatron to help you with that, to show you the Akashic record of where you're stuck. I'm just getting a card here from the Metatron deck, the Akashic card. So what he's showing me here, he's saying, you can ask me. You can ask me. It's not difficult. It's not difficult, any of this. We think it is. He says you can do it in your sleep. You can ask before you go to sleep to be taken and shown your Akashic record, and to see any name that is on this page where you share a similar trait, a similar problem, or it started there. Yeah? But the most important thing in terms of how to heal it is learning from it. Sure, you can go and have healing and get the roots out and all the rest of it, but unless you've learnt from something, I feel like it's going to come back. Or maybe it's not so much that. I just feel that when you've, put it this way, when you get it and you understand and you've seen all dimensions and you've felt into why somebody did that, why they behaved like that, why you behaved back in a similar way or did something different, you've analysed different parties' reactions, your own reactions, you've fully studied it, you've reflected on it, you've meditated on it, you've asked and prayed about it. The final step is then letting it go, detaching from the story of it, that I am not that. Let me pull one more card. In terms of Ascended Master help, I say that one was just literally flipped out the card, the Void card. Retreat, rest and pause. It's like, again, got to go into the darkness, got to go into the void, got to go there. And it's never as bad as you think it's going to be when you go there, when you learn, when you go into the void, not seeking to judge it, but to learn from it. Why was it so dark? Why did that happen? What was that all about? We have the Om symbol in the center of the Void card on the Metatron deck. So again, using that tone, Om, in meditation, very healing. Going back to the central point. Meditation, meditation, meditation. Signs from Spirit. Spirit will give you signs. It'll give you signs. You see, without going into all the details, all the stuff that's been going on with my dad recently and the healing that's happened, especially over the last weekend when I went up there, it's like it was laid out before me because I'd just asked. I'd asked for the healing. I'd done the work, basically. What is the work? I'd just been present with how I'd felt. I thought about him, how he's been feeling. It's living it, is what Metatron's saying. It's living it. It's living it. I think so often I'm a big fan on healing, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't have healing, but all I'm really trying to say is that you can go to a healing session, you can talk your issues over with a healer. That's all well and good. But really it's about being present and moving through it and documenting it and reflecting it and observing it and loving it and hanging on to hope and having faith and all of that. And balancing it and believing in the light and the signs. Yeah, I hope this is helping, guys. And keeping on, shining your light, no matter what. No matter what. Keeping lines of communication open, no matter what. Healing, yes, it's part of it. Staying in your heart, yes. Attuning to Metatron, yes. Taking action, yes. We could go through the whole deck because it's a self-mastery deck. Well, I suppose this is what I'm trying to say. This is self-mastery. When we're able to really release these wounds, it's self-mastery. And people sort of want to know, well, what is self-mastery? Just give it to me in a minute. I can't. It's the whole damn deck. It's working through all of it. And it's a continual process. And we're all somewhere along the path. And then where are those first two cards? Death and the Fool. And then we start again. And then we learn more. It's ever evolving. Oh, wow. I can't believe this. I didn't know if I was going to weave this in, but I can't believe that card is sitting facing me now. The fig tree. Do you know why I'm going to talk about the fig tree? I mean, this is random, Did you see RFK Jr. sitting in a fig tree yesterday? He climbed a fig tree. And when I saw that, it was the first thing I saw on Instagram. Let me just see if I can find it. I'll show you a picture of him. He climbed this fig tree. And I think it's to do with raising awareness of the environment, you know, and whether you like him or not, he has always been a passionate supporter of the environment. And here we go. Here he is. I climbed this fig tree to tell you how I will protect our environmental infrastructure for future generations. When you invest in my campaign, you're investing in our future. Okay, but the point is, he's actually sitting in the damn tree. He's in the fig tree. He's climbed it. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Come on, even if you don't like him. But it made me think about the fig tree in the Bible. There are various references to the fig tree in the Bible. And there's a story of Jesus cursing a fig tree because it didn't have fruit. But there's also a story, I believe, of, help me out, guys, in the comments. There's also a story about the fig tree representing New Earth, I believe. So let's see. Let me pause the camera, guys. Guys, you're going to have to help me out in the comments. If you want to, just please, can you help me out? Because I've literally got to take my mum to the hospital just for a little checkup in 20 minutes. So I haven't got time to look at it now. But I'm also being shown the fig leaf by Spirit. Of course, Adam and Eve, the fig leaf. Fortunately, RFK, well, actually, he's got quite a good body for a man of his age, I have to say. But he was dressed. He wasn't just wearing a fig leaf, of course, although, of course, that was Eve. But no, seriously, I'm being shown the fig leaf, Garden of Eden, but equally the fig tree. It's all over the Bible. The fig tree is very, very symbolic all over the Bible. What does this card say about it? It's also linked into the tree of life, you see, the tree of knowledge. We're all somewhere on the tree. We are all somewhere on the tree. And you are being asked to move to the next branch. We're clinging on like dear life to the branch that we're on. But no, there's a big old tree out there and you're meant to explore it. Okay, so it says, this card says, fig trees are grand evergreen trees that grow strong, deep roots which hold up large, wide branches. The trees are native to the eastern coast of Australia and produce fruit which is enjoyed by many of the native animals. All right, it's a symbol of life and knowledge. Trees are so important for manufacturing the air we breathe, and they do so by breathing in our waste. Yeah, think about that. Think about the love that tree has. It breathes in our waste. This symbiotic relationship reminds you that everything has a purpose. The fig tree stands as a witness to the changing seasons and the landscape around it, while bearing its fruit and supporting the wildlife that depend on it. Its lesson is a simple one. Stand strong. Let your bare feet dig into the earth while you hold your arms to the sky. So it's about a deeper connection to the land. Oh, and it's also about fruits of your efforts. Okay. Well, I will do a new video on RFK Jr. in the new year, and also any other people that are still standing, you know, that look like they're going to be in the race. I haven't looked at Nikki, whatever she's called, the lady, and I haven't looked at what's he called? I can see him in my mind now. The governor of not Ron, the other one, tall guy, bit shifty. You know, it's not Florida, California. What's he called? California governor. California governor. For some reason, I can't think of his name. Oh, Gavin Newsom. Yeah. I feel like I want to sneeze. It's interesting. As I was tuning into Gavin, I feel like I need to sneeze, so it's gone now. Of course, it's like sneezing is a way to release. These cards are really speaking to me, guys. I've just split the deck again. I've got the Death Adder, Snake in the Grass. I'm sorry. And then we've got Eagle. Eagle to me is America, USA. And then we've got Moon. We've got the card of Secrets. And then we've got Butterfly, the card of Beauty. And then we've got Sugar Glider, the card of Courage. Just a little message coming through from America. There are snakes in the grass. I think you know that anyway. But you're going to be okay eventually. It's going to take a little bit of time, but obviously the secrets need to come out. The eagle will ensure that the butterfly arises, i.e. you will come out of the cocoon that you are in at the moment, the caterpillar cocoon, and you will transform as a nation. I feel as though the solstice energies, which is what I am reading on, is going to be very important for USA for some reason. And yeah, I don't know why I started to talk about Gavin Newsom, because I wasn't intending to. It doesn't have to be about him, but it certainly feels as though it's linked into leadership, okay? Leadership. Changes in leadership, or just, further jostling for position and somebody coming more strong than they have before. I don't know. Anyway, we won't go into that now. Let's finish with a bit of Kali. And Kali was the one that really wanted to come through in this reading. There we are, Kali Ma. Warrior, goddess energy, liberation and rebirth. Also, just to remind you that we do have an ancestral spray as well, ancestral healing. You can also, I'll put the links to that below. But let's just end with Kali, and I'll pull a Kali card as well, actually. So Kali Ma, just got to keep an eye on the time. Kali Ma. Okay, she's saying, it's okay, I've got your back. I've got your back. Nice. Kali Ma got your back. Okay. I'm just seeing her pushing a lot of us. It's quite humorous, actually. I'm seeing a battlefield, but the battlefield is in our imagination a lot of the time. It's what we're scared of. It's whatever the next step is, the next stage is. It's like, I can't do that. I don't know if I can do that. And I don't know if I can let that go, because if I let that go, what's going to happen? It's the child that's scared. Like, oh. And she's just like, and heels being dug in. And then she's like, you are going to do it. It's just like this push in the back. And she's like, and then all of a sudden it's like you're in the centre of this battlefield. And it's like, where are all the people that I thought were going to be attacking me? And where are all the snakes in the grass? Well, she's cleared them. She's cleared them for you. So her energy is brilliant. She's just like, you're going there. You're going there. You're going to be centre stage, whatever that means in your life. It doesn't mean you've got to be on some big, stage or platform. It just means whatever it is that you're meant to be doing. It could be that you are centre stage in your family, You are mum. You are dad. You are whatever it is you're meant to be. And you are performing the role of your life, and you're doing it so well. Okay? So always remember that, because we're all different. We've all got different jobs and tasks and priorities, and it always ebbs and flows a little bit. Okay, I'm going to end then with, should we pull a Kali card? No, I'm not going to actually, because... Oh, okay, well. It's not a deck that I've connected to very well. It's the only reason I'm saying that. I mean, I love Alana Fairchild's work. I think she's great. But there's nothing wrong with this deck either. It's a great deck. It's just, I probably haven't put the work into reading all the messages, because she's put a lot of work into it. And I need to really sit with this deck to fully appreciate it. You see what I did? It was like, oh no, can't be bothered type energy. That's what we do when we're sort of resisting something, whereas actually there's some really good stuff in there, Amanda. If you just sat down and did it, okay, and stopped, being unfocused. I'm not talking on this video, I'm talking generally in life. There's something in this deck that you're really meant to read or feel or be. Yeah? That's what we do. Right. Anyway, for everybody watching me, what is the card that we need, Carly? Ooh. Even the deck cuts my hands. It's big. My hands aren't small, but they're big cards. Anyway, stop complaining. Card number 3, Kaladara. Okay, no idea what it means. I'll show you the card in a minute. Let me just get the book. But it's good to know not know what something means. You see, we need to be entering into an energy of exploration, of curiosity, a bit like the child, which is rather than, I don't know about that, so I won't bother. It's like, no, we need to become more curious, more explorative. Right. I love it. This is such a perfect message, guys. I always get there in the end. It says, she is not bound by appearances, opinions, or material limitations. She is both the void and the infinite creative potential that arises from it. Do not be afraid of uncertainty. I love that. Because I was having just a moment of showing you uncertainty. Shall I, shan't I? Do not be afraid of uncertainty. If you feel you are without resources, take comfort now. Where there is lack, she restores abundance. She can bring forth exquisite blessing and glorious manifestations from the sacred expanse of nothingness. Your soul can rely upon her completely. Cast your fears away. Hers is the power of the universe combined with the generosity of grace. Who would not want that? Why would you push that away, Carly, I think we're going to be learning a lot more about Carly next year. I mean, you may very well know a lot already, but I just mean on my channel, I feel as though I'm going to be focusing on Carly quite a bit because I just know I am. Feel the power of that. Okay, I'm going to go back to the spray one more time, Carly. She says, do not push me away, for you are pushing away your own force. You're pushing away your own strength. You're pushing away your own determination. You're pushing away your own laser-like focus to get the job done. Really feels as though it's just this energy which just clears the decks. Whatever it is that you're facing, whether like the turtle, changing conditions in the world, changing conditions in your own life, people leaving, jobs ending, situations changing. Constant change is the whole nature of life. You have to learn to pivot. And she's showing me this beautiful, like an old-fashioned playground wheel in a children's playground. I think they still have them. The ones which go round and round and you jump on and you hang onto the rail. They don't go that fast. And then at any point you can just jump off, really. And she's saying that's what life is like. That's exactly what life is like. That's the energy and the attitude that you need for life, to jump into whatever arises, to jump into whatever shows up. And that includes your wounds. It includes the places where it's going to be tricky. But let me help you clear. So it also feels as though this is a powerful healing energy of clearance and deliverance this solstice. Okay, my friends, I'm going to have to leave it there because I do have places to go, people to see. And I've just got to take my mum for a blood test, so it's nothing that exciting. But it is a good week. I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're all right. And I will try to bob back in over the Christmas period. I'm going to be doing a predictions video for 2024. In fact, I think it's going to have to be in 2 parts because there's just so much stuff coming through. But do take care of yourself and remember to pivot. I'm now seeing in my mind's eye, I think it was, it was Charlie's Angels, actually. I go back to the original Charlie's Angels with Farrah Fawcett Majors, Kate, and the one I always wanted to be, which was Jacqueline Smith. I still think she was, to me, as a little girl, I wanted to be Jacqueline Smith. She was so damn beautiful. Still is. But they had that thing, didn't they? They just like the pose. The pose. That's the pose. It's very Carly as well. Be a bit more like that. Anyway, take great care of yourself. Have fun and have a good solstice. Much love. Bye for now. Thank you for showing up and watching. I truly appreciate it. Okay, bye for now. Bye.